how powerful you really are. But once you figure out your brain, you become unstoppable.
There's something inside of us, we humans, that is so powerful. It is so beautiful. It is so ancient. It is so precious.
The most powerful instrument in the universe is the subconscious mind.
The subconscious.
Your subconscious mind.
The subconscious mind.
Subconscious mind.
The subconscious mind.
The subconscious mind.
The subconscious mind.
You control your story, nobody else.
Your subconscious mind is marvelous, but what it does is it only thrives on goals that you pronounce in the now, in the present tense. And so you now have a dynamism in your brain where your brain knows that you're only earning this amount of money, but now you're saying, but I earn this amount of money. Your brain knows that you're not a millionaire, but now you're saying, I am a millionaire. And so your brain goes to work to close this gap between where you are and where you want to be. And your brain starts to work 24 hours a day. And it works and it gives you ideas.
If a person would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax, and then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves. Now understand that that's a picture in your mind. And then take that picture and describe it, write it out in the present tense. I am so happy now that I see myself, and write it out. Start to read it, and read it, and read it, and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers, all down through history, have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now, it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie, but if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it. And when William James said, believe and your belief will create the fact, you will see the person's personality change.
The door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind opens up as we get beyond our analytical mind. And our analytical mind is actually what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind. So as you slow your brain waves down, you get into alpha, you're entering the operating system. And that's where you can rewrite a new program. That's where you can rehearse a new script. Some people can get to the point where they're so relaxed that the body's in a light sleep, and yet they're conscious and awake, and now they're in this theta brainwave pattern. And in theta, that's a hypnotic state. We're very suggestible to our thoughts. We're very suggestible to information in that state. And that state then is where we see the most change take place. And so the person can literally change from the inside out when they learn how to get into the operating system.
Each person here has a what is called the superconscious mind. And this mind has been talked about for 5,000 years, and some call it the oversoul, and some people call it the God mind, some people call it God, spirit, whatever it happens to be. But there's this incredible power in the universe that you can tap into. You could just reach into it by simply writing down a goal clearly on a piece of paper, and then this mind goes to work 24 hours a day to bring it into your life.
Your brain's amazing. Once you feed it the right conversation, the right mental nutrients, the right mental supplements, the right internal dialogue at the right time, with the right hit, with the right proof of what you've done in the past, and you send that right to the right circuit, dude, you're a beast. A beast.
The secret of the ages.
What is the secret of the ages?
The secret of the ages that you have the power to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Don't underestimate yourself. You don't know enough about yourself to become a cynic. And so you've got to challenge yourself to access that power that you have within you. You're more than a conqueror.
Your mind is everything. There's a road to every place on this earth. From this city, you can become anything that is available on this earth. And it's like the pathway is it's your mind. It's like, you know, you absolutely have to educate your mind, and the recognition that the only limits are your thoughts. If you think you're in a up situation and you'll never get out, you're gonna make that true.
There's a verse in the Bible that says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So whatever you're thinking about, that's who you will become. Because thoughts lead to actions, actions lead to habits, habits lead to lifestyle. And that lifestyle is what dictates who you are.
Around 2010, 2011, I went through this huge spiritual thing where I became obsessed with the power of the mind. I got into it deep, like really deep, just meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief.
It's all internal, right? If you finish a marathon in first place, no one comes along and drips dopamine in your ear. You self-generate that. It's all internal. It's all about your internal representation. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't good and bad events in life, but the fact of the matter is that if you set the next milestone as just outside the distance of what you're comfortable with, and you make it there, if you allow yourself a moment to register that win, you get energy to then set the next milestone and achieve it. That energy is dopamine converted into epinephrine, into adrenaline.
If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life. Because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. You can't control people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place, completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. It is trained, like everything else in life. It is trained. So if you find yourself not appreciating what you have until it's gone, then you must blink and cure your brain. If you find yourself unable to focus or concentrate on tasks, you must blink and cure your brain. If you find yourself unable to go and dedicate yourself to something you don't want to do, you must blink and cure your brain.
Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that shit we have nowadays, yeah, that's great. We're up to date, but your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death. You can't Google that shit, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kind of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're fucked. You got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over.
Have you ever heard of the expectation effect? The expectation effect is a theory in psychology where a group of people who were gluten intolerant were given food that they were told had gluten in it. This food was actually gluten-free, but a few minutes after consuming the food, the group of people started to have the symptoms that they would if they consumed gluten. They broke out in rashes, they had nausea, bloating, upset stomach, all of the symptoms that they would have normally had from consuming gluten, but this food was absolutely gluten-free. And what this theory proves is that what your brain believes will proceed. See, your brain is constantly making connections. It's constantly giving you confirmation of what works and what doesn't. So the same thing can be applied to success. If you believe that it's not going to work, your brain will find more confirmation on that. It will find more reasons to convince you that things aren't going to work, and ultimately things will not work. But the same goes hand in hand with believing that you can. Believing that you can be successful if you want to be. Your brain will make new pathways and new confirmations to confirm that belief process. What you believe to be will be. Your reality is literally shaped by you. The expectation effect. Total game changer.
Well, how do you activate the superconscious mind? Here is the most powerful of all. We call this the master method of activation. It is called solitude. You activate the superconscious mind with solitude. Now, how do you use solitude? We call this go into the silence. Go and sit down quietly by yourself for 30 to 60 minutes. 30 to 60 minutes. Most people in our society have never sat quietly for 30 to 60 minutes in their entire lives. Yet I will tell you this method works 100% of the time. That any problem that you have, any difficulty, any challenge, any goal that you want to accomplish, if you'll go into the silence and sit quietly and then listen to the still small voice within. Listen to the still small voice within. This is the key. You will find that at a certain point, probably at about 25 to 30 minutes, your mind will go completely clear. And then a flow of ideas will start to flow into your mind. You'll feel energy welling up inside you. And at a precise moment, as you sit there in complete silence, no cigarettes, no coffee, no music, nothing, just complete silence, at a particular moment, your mind will go clear and wham, exactly the answer you need will come at exactly the right time. And if you will get up and go and carry out that answer, it will turn out to be exactly perfect.
What would you say then is the most powerful law of the universe to support individuals in creating the reality of their dreams?
And it is I am. So just the words I am. So Neville Goddard, way back when, he found in the Bible this saying, I am that I am, right? And if you've ever listened to Deepak Chopra, he talks about I am. A lot of religion, Buddhist, Vedic, all sorts of different philosophies about I am. But it is the spell that is cast that will manifest. If it's I am bad, you guaranteed what you will get. If you can start to say I am and listening to you, the words that you use and starting to feel, I am is the creation. It is the thought that the universe is experiencing itself through us. And therefore, when we say I am, we create.
If you can see it in your mind, visualize it, it must happen. That's a law of the universe. You learn to work with these laws of the universe and everything becomes very easy for you. The law of the universe, if you can see it, it must happen. They have to fulfill your order. So I want you to think about what it is you want, but be specific. See it as already done, already accomplished. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Some people say, well, I got to do this and this and this to make it happen. Then you're limiting them to saying that's the only way it can happen. See it as already done, already accomplished. They will make it happen in ways that you would never, ever imagine.
This is the law of attraction. I mean, you have to, in the struggle, you know, when things are going good and you visualize these good things happening, you visualize more good things happening, that's easy. What's not easy to do is when things are going bad and you're visualizing the good stuff. And that was what I was able to do. I was able to, you know, even though I was having these troubles at home, and even though I had no job, you know what I mean, or whatever, didn't know what I was doing. If it didn't happen, but I still was able to feel like it was. Just like use my imagination, like a kid would use his imagination. I was basically just using my imagination.
Let me tell you how manifestation works. People often talk about the fact you have to visualize where you want to be. And if you manifest, everything will come true. Sounds a bit airy-fairy, sounds a bit out there, but I'll tell you why manifestation is important. If you could view a movie of your life if you dedicated yourself, and juxtapose it against a movie of your life if you continue down the path you're on, which is semi-trying some of the time. If you could watch a Hollywood blockbuster of how fantastic your life would be, you would then dedicate yourself, because you would see with your own eyes, you would feel it, it would elicit the emotion out of you. You would never lack motivation ever again, because you watch and see how fantastic and good your life should be. You have to imagine it so viscerally that you want it. You have to imagine the steak with such detail that you literally want to eat it so bad that you never lack motivation again. You need to imagine the yachts, imagine all the beautiful women, imagine taking care of your parents, imagine the cars, imagine the private jets. You need to imagine it all. Not because it makes it all magically appear, but because it engraves in your mind how important it is that you get these things and you never lack motivation or dedication ever again. That's how manifestation works. You need to watch the movie of your future success in your mind.
Whenever you wake up in the morning, today is going to be a great day. you have to nudge your brain, right? We have a conscious mind, we have an unconscious mind, we have a self-image, and your subconscious is paying attention to the words that the conscious mind is saying. And so if you're like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed, today's going to be a bad day, you're going to have a bad day because you just programmed your subconscious mind to do that. Every day when my feet hit the floor, today is going to be a great day. And then my favorite of all of them is when you go to bed at night. And bed is so important because if you want to have a good day, it starts the night before, is what went well today. So when I go to bed, I say a prayer and then I go, what went well? And I go on a treasure hunt because I'm purposefully looking for what are the right things that happened.
Most people are missing something because they don't know who they are. They never examine themselves. They've never done this experiment on themselves. You create your own self. Most people are missing something because there's so much trapped in there. There's so much in you that God or whoever the hell you believe in you that you have not unlocked. God, I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, because it's about 75% of you is still in there, still chained up because you just didn't want to find your willpower, didn't want to find your soul, your will, your heart, your determination, your guts, your courage.
As a man thinketh, so is he. If you think it, that's the reality of your life. So if you think you're a failure, if you think you're a loser, if you think you are designed to live in a cubicle, then that will be the reality of your life. But if you realize that you can be whatever you want to be, and nothing's holding you back, and nothing's stopping you except you, then once you get out of your own way, the game begins.
I mean, if you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality.
But you really don't know what you're capable of. Most people are way smarter than they give themselves credit for. Most people have abilities and talents that are untapped. You can do anything in this world, my friends. The secret is to actually believe that you can do it. Once you start believing that you can do stuff, your mindset changes. And I know it's hard to believe if all you've had are failures. It's really hard. It's hard to believe that you can do something when you've tried before and you've failed. But once you start believing, things will change for you, my friends. You are more powerful than you think you are. Confidence is huge. It is like, it's almost more important than intelligence. If you believe that you can learn, even if you're not that naturally gifted, it's like a switch goes off in your mind and it just makes it easier to absorb things. Having a positive attitude in life towards everything, not just learning, makes a huge difference, my friends. Stay strong.
That is where your power is. You can do nothing about the chapters that are behind you, but you have so much opportunity to write the best chapters that are in front of you. The revelation is, I control my pen. I am the greatest narrator of my life. I will control the narrative and the commentary about who I am. People can make of it what they will, but I'm in control. So if you don't like the stories and the chapters that have preceded whatever you're dealing with right now, what a great day to maybe start that first sentence of what your new chapter is going to look like. You control that. Nobody else. Nobody else can do it for you. Nobody else can write it for you. People can encourage you, but at some point you got to pick up the pen of ownership and say, this is me. This is my life. This is who I want to be. Who might you become if you invested in that person?
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it.
period.